Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing good. Last week we had my updated Cyberpunk review, don't forget to check it out if you missed it. And today, I'm gonna show you the best single player games of 2023. Without further ado, let's start with the first one. I played tons of games this year and Baldur's Gate 3 is by far my favorite. The number of possibilities, the attention to detail, and the intriguing story that gets more interesting and mind-blowing as you go are some of the things that made me fall in love with Baldur's Gate 3 so much that I beat it on my shitty PC in online co-op with my brother, and now I'm halfway through the game on PS5. I don't know if you guys do this or not, but sometimes I save right before an encounter. Actually, not sometimes, I do it all the time. I try an approach and then I load the game and maybe try stealth or just different dialogue options, and it always results in a completely different outcome. And that's awesome, almost as awesome as the horny companions. By the way, let me know your favorite one in the comments down below. Mine is Zelda. Now the second game I want to show you is also a Game of the Year candidate. And even if you don't have a Switch, don't skip this part, because as long as your PC's got a decent CPU, you can play Tears of the Kingdom and pretty much any other Switch game. Look into it. So if you like taming horses, crafting all kinds of weapons and items, fighting a bunch of smart enemies in a world that's interesting and fun to explore thanks to its physics, long story short, Tears of the Kingdom is basically Breath of the Wild but with more stuff, new tools, and some additional areas to explore. So it's far from being completely new, but it's awesome. I got a question though, why does everyone sound like they're having an orgasm every time they talk? Let's just move on to the third game. Alan Wake 2 isn't your classic horror game where you just walk and shoot a bunch of monsters, cause here, you have to investigate a series of murders committed by the Cult of the Tree, and that investigation is at the heart of the gameplay. There are two campaigns, one for Saga, the FBI agent, and the other one is obviously for Alan Wake, which lets you alter the locations and events by altering the story, cause he's a writer, and as we all know, that's what writers do. I mean that, and they fight enemies with a flashlight. All jokes aside though, the way the story is presented in Alan Wake 2 is incredibly interesting and innovative. The fourth game on my list isn't really innovative, but Star Wars Jedi Survivor is definitely better than Fallen Order in every way, especially now that it's been patched a couple of times and it runs properly. Gameplay wise, it plays like a Souls-like mixed with some Uncharted style platforming. And since this is a Star Wars game, you can do cool stuff like use the Force to pull enemies towards you and then throw them at each other, deflect shots with your lightsaber, and you can also dismember enemies, and that's always fun. The next game I want to show you also allows you to grab enemies and throw them at each other. RoboCop Rogue City is one of those games that look outdated and repetitive, but when you actually play them, they're hella fun. I love gory stuff, and here you can blow people's heads off, you can dismember them, and most importantly, you can shoot them in the dick. There is even an achievement for that. The destructible environments make the game even more fun, but you should expect to see shit like this every now and then. One thing's for sure though, there is nothing RoboCop hates more than dudes with mohawks. Told you this game was fun. Next we have another gory game, except this one is only fun if you enjoy shitting your pants. Back in 2008, when Dead Space originally came out, I played it a little bit, but I just couldn't get past the first chapter because I was what's the scientific term I'm looking for? Oh yeah, a pussy ass bitch, that's what I was. But now that I'm a real man, I made it to chapter 3. Seriously though, I had to stop playing because we've had so many good games this year, and it's definitely not because a necromorph sneaked up on me from behind and almost gave me a heart attack. The Dead Space remake recently landed on Game Pass, in case you haven't played it yet, now is a good time to do so. What's definitely not on Game Pass though is the 7th game on my list. Spider-Man 2 is straight up impressive. Performance mode runs at 60 FPS with ray tracing on, transitions from cutscenes to gameplay are seamless, and you can traverse the city even faster than before thanks to the new additions like the slingshot and the wingsuit. But the main addition here is having two playable characters and being able to switch between them at will. Keep in mind the combat is challenging, and if you don't take it seriously, you'll get your ass kicked every single fight. I feel like every PS5 owner probably already has Spider-Man 2 by now, so let me just show you another game instead. Lies of P is tough, but what's way harder than fighting these mechanical puppets is determining how much Pinocchio's transition cost, and most importantly, what the fuck is they are doing in a Souls-like game. Seriously though, the graphics are lit, it and the game runs great, which is already an upgrade over Souls games, but if this is too hard for you, then you should probably play Hogwarts Legacy instead. I think every Harry Potter fan already played this one, especially now that it's finally coming to Switch as well. The open world is interesting to explore and full of side quests, but in my opinion, the RPG elements are way too light and the targeting system sucks dick. Other than that, Hogwarts Legacy is a solid game, so if casting spells at little kids in robes is your thing, go for it. I'm sure there are a lot of you guys who still haven't heard of Wartales, but after Baldur's Gate 3, this is the game I played the most this year. It's the mix of RPG, tactics, and survival that makes it so interesting to me. There are many game mechanics to use and resources to manage, so it can be a little overwhelming at first, but it's incredibly fun to play. You can form a band of good mercenaries that help people out and make the world a safer place, or you could do what I did and basically rob everyone, kill them, and eat their fucking corpses. That's not a joke, by the way. You can make a band of cannibals. Cause you gotta feed your mercenaries every time you rest, and you'll have to pay them every 3 days, so you better be making some money. Wartales used to be a PC exclusive, but now it's on Switch and Xbox too, so give it a shot. The Resident Evil 4 remake is easily one of my top 5 games this year. The graphics look sick and the gameplay was also heavily improved, cause back in the day we had to choose between moving and shooting, which sounds horrible in 2023, but on PS2 we thought it was okay for some reason. So you can now move, aim and shoot at the same time, and you can also use your knife to parry melee attacks. What's really fun, at least in my opinion, is shooting zombies in the knees and then kicking them in the face. Sometimes I would get so sucked into aiming at kneecaps that I would forget about Ashley for a couple of seconds and her dumb ass would of course get kidnapped. Resident Evil 4 isn't really scary in my opinion, but the whole atmosphere is creepy enough that you never really get to just chill.
Come, child.
Am I about to get molested again? Now if you have a PS5, you should check out Final Fantasy 16. There's a demo that you can download for free. It's basically the first 2 hours of the game, so that should be enough to give you an idea on whether FF16 is for you or not. But hey, maybe your internet sucks or maybe you're just lazy, so I'll tell you what's up. Performance mode runs like shit and the game is way too easy. Seriously, you can play it with just one hand. On the bright side, the story is good, there are tons of epic moments, and you definitely get your money's worth, so it's up to you. Let's take a look at the 13th game. I was gonna have Assassin's Creed Mirage on this list, but then I decided to replace it with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. At the moment of making this video, the game's not out yet, but based on what I've seen, even though it could be just Far Cry in Avatar's world, at least the world would be different from what we usually get in a Ubisoft game. The brain dead AI will always be the same though, and if that's what you like, then you'll probably love the 14th game on my list. Starfield is pretty divisive. Some of you straight up hate it, while some other people have sunk over 300 hours in it and are still playing it. Honestly, I don't know how the fuck they spent all that time on Starfield, cause personally, the fast travel based exploration, the 30 FPS limit on Series X, the amount of loading screens and the shitty AI made me beat the game in just 2 days, so I could move on to something else. I had fun playing it though. You can build outposts, steal ships, customize them, but I still think having just one planet full of content that we can seamlessly explore is much better than having 1,000 planets with abandoned mines and shitty outposts. Let me know what you think. Last but not least, we have Like a Dragon Gaiden. There aren't that many beat 'em up games out there anymore, so if you feel like beating the shit out of people until they agree with you, you'll probably love this one. Keep in mind it's far from being revolutionary and it's a Yakuza game, so get ready to watch 69 hours of cutscenes. Interestingly enough, there's a mix of real life footage and CGI, and the thirsty motherfuckers out there will certainly appreciate these ones. Oh, and when you beat the game, you unlock the Infinite Wealth demo, and that's dope. I'm really excited to play that one. Now, before you click away, let me show you a few underrated games that you might want to add to your catalog. Armored Core 6 is a must-have for those of you who are into mechas. I don't know why they haven't marketed this game more though, cause I haven't heard of it since its launch. The second underrated game I want to show you is Dredge, which is a game where you have to catch some fish, upgrade your boat, and most importantly, run for your life during nighttime, cause that's when the crazy shit happens. Aliens Dark Descent is a real-time tactical game where you control a squad of soldiers, do missions, and try not to get killed by a bunch of aliens. Not a lot of people played the first Ghost Runner game, so hopefully those of you who like fast-paced combat with parkour in a cyberpunk world will give Ghost Runner 2 a try. I hope you found a few games to your taste, cause that's gonna be it for the best single-player games of 2023. Next, I'll be doing the best split-screen games, so stay tuned. In the meantime, if you could help this tiny-ass channel grow with a thumbs up and maybe a subscription, that would be awesome. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.
For the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh. Fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up. Play the game, bruh.